Bill O'Reilly here, Tuesday, April 7th, 2020. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. 90% of Americans say their lives have drastically changed because of the pandemic. The British Prime Minister in intensive care. Third of millennials have lost their jobs. 3 in 5 adults saying the shutdown is being used for their own self-improvement. Uber revealing the most popular delivery dishes in America. Also, how is the socialist Bernie Sanders handling the national emergency? It's kind of bizarre. But first, more than 10,000 people have died in the USA. According to Johns Hopkins University, most fatalities are in New York, followed by Michigan and Washington State. Recent polling from Pew shows 90% of all Americans say the outbreak has had a major impact on their day-to-day lives. The British Prime Minister taken to intensive care after battling the infection for 10 days. Boris Johnson diagnosed with the disease on March 26th. The 55-year-old suffering from persistent symptoms including high fever, coughing, shortness of breath. He is the first world leader hospitalized for the COVID virus. Nearly a third of young Americans have already lost jobs. A poll from Harris says 31% of adults between the ages of 18 and 34 have been fired, furloughed, or placed on leave. Most in the food, entertainment, and retail industries. Hardest hit those relying on tips off the books because they're not eligible for unemployment benefits. Recent study says most folks are using the quarantine to focus on themselves. More than 3 in 5 say they plan to use the isolation to catch up on, quote, life goals, including learning an instrument, foreign language, or losing weight. 32% are hoping to emerge with new cooking skills. On that note, Uber Eats lists the most popular delivery dishes during the outbreak. Forget chicken soup. Americans are turning to French fries, pizza, burritos, and sushi. Online orders for food in the USA and Canada are up more than 50% since mid-March, as you would expect. In a moment, fighting the contagion with politics. I have some very interesting information for you. We'll be right back. 2 guys, Kyle and Josh, were both losing their hair, which was no surprise to either, since they knew male pattern baldness ran in their families. The way they dealt with their hair loss, however, couldn't have been more different. Kyle put it off, losing more and more hair. Josh went right to Keeps.com to learn how to keep his hair. Keeps offers generic versions of the only 2 FDA-approved hair loss products out there. The genetic versions saved Josh a lot of money, and the consultation was simple. He answered a few questions online and snapped a few pictures of his hair. A doctor then evaluated everything and recommended the right FDA-approved hair loss treatment for Josh. It was shipped discreetly to his door. Keeps lets you save your hair without ever leaving your home. Please go to Keeps, KEEPS.com/Bill to get your first order of Keeps hair loss treatment 50% off. Half off. That's Keeps.com/Bill, Keeps.com/Bill. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day, politics and the plague. The small country of Finland, population 5.5 million, is often on the list of best places to live in the world. But the pandemic is causing big trouble for the Finns. Finland is a welfare state and cannot cope with the virus fallout. At least 300,000 workers have been laid off so far, and the government cannot pay them unemployment benefits because the massive welfare state the country has in place has run out of efficient ways to get money to the folks. Now, Finnish citizens receive cradle-to-grave entitlements. You don't work, you don't have to work, we'll give you money. You don't have a place to live, we'll give you a house. You don't have anything to eat, we'll give you food. And that kind of a system absorbs all the money the country has. So, Finland's system of jobless benefits cannot cope with the sudden surge in unemployment. The government says it will eventually distribute money. Eventually? What's for dinner tomorrow? Enter the socialist movement in America, led by Senator Bernie Sanders, who has received millions of primary votes this season. Last weekend, Sanders said the U.S. government should pay all salaries for Americans who are losing jobs during the pandemic. Everything. And not only that, the government should pay all medical bills associated with the virus. So the $2 trillion federal relief package recently passed is not nearly enough for the socialist Sanders, who is demanding trillions of extra dollars this country does not have. We are $25 trillion in debt. Bernie Sanders is a dangerous man, and those who support him are fools. The U.S. economy and the dollar would collapse if Sanders were president and Congress backed him. But that's what Sanders and his cadre want. Once the private economy becomes overwhelmed by debt, the feds would step in and run everything, the entire economy. In order to pay for all the entitlements Bernie Sanders and some other Democrats are demanding, the government would have to seize the private property of prosperous Americans through onerous taxation, as much as 90%. That's the fair share ruse. So please pay attention to the pandemic's political consequences. And one more thing. Sanders continues to pound the table about government-run health care. If you look at the chart, some socialist medicine countries like Spain and Italy have 10 times the fatality rate that America has with its private system. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually writing it. For more news analysis, please visit BillO'Reilly.com. We have the best pandemic coverage. In a moment, something you might not know. You've heard me talk about urchins, the kids. They're obsessed with the machines I rail about. Those cell phones and computers they stare at into day and night, frittering their youth away. But there are times those machines can be quite valuable. If you are 75 or older and you own a life insurance policy worth $100,000 or more, We Buy 75 will appraise it free and help you convert it to cash. But you must pick up your cell phone and call 844-WE-BUY-75 or visit WeBuy75.com. That's WeBuy75.com. Imagine never having to pay a life insurance premium again. There's no better feeling than having the cash you need for all your necessities. You've seen We Buy 75 on TV, heard them on the radio. So use those machines to get a free appraisal of your policy by calling 844-WE-BUY-75 or visiting WeBuy75.com. Now, the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. About 9 in 10 Americans are currently stuck inside during the contagion. While bad for most business, online shopping up more than 25%. For those looking to buy inexpensively during the pandemic, there are some great deals out there if you know where to find them. Let's start with streaming. Viewership up 30% since the virus hit. With so many folks indoors, popular services are lowering prices. Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime all offering free trials. HBO has released 500 hours of free content, no subscription required. If you're not into binge watching while bunkered down, there's always self-improvement. You can learn a new language. Many online services are offering reduced pricing on educational subscriptions. Studies show just a quarter of the U.S. population can converse in a second language. 58% of Europeans can speak 2 or 3 languages. It's also a good time to focus on physical fitness with gyms closed. Most folks are skipping daily exercise routines, but some brands are stepping it up with online classes. Gold's Gym app and others are offering thousands of audio and video workouts that will keep you off the couch. Now, doctors say physical exercise can not only help the body fight off new infections, it can also prevent mental issues like depression during the shutdown. And if you manage to shed a few pounds, you may need to update your wardrobe. While tens of thousands of brick and mortar locations are closing, customers are seeing steep discounts from big brands. Nike, Macy's, Brooks Brothers, Banana Republic. You can find sales just about anywhere. Prices are down 60% on average on the net. And here's something else you might not know. Despite retailer efforts to offset losses with deals and discounts, about 400,000 industry jobs will be lost this year, up more than 80% since January. The folks on the floor, the cashiers, the loaders, all of the department stores that are going out of business don't need those workers anymore. Back after this. It's shocking that your home can be stolen easily. Deborah learned that brutal lesson when thieves found her home's title online. They then forged the document to appear she sold her house, but she didn't. The criminals borrowed thousands using Deborah's home equity. She didn't even know she was a victim until foreclosure and eviction notices arrived. She spent a fortune trying to get her home back. The FBI now calls home title fraud one of the fastest growing crimes, but you can avoid a possible nightmare by protecting your home with Home Title Lock. Neither your homeowner's insurance nor your bank protects you. For pennies a day, Home Title Lock will. Find out if you're already a victim of home title fraud. So please register your home at HomeTitleLock.com and enter BILL, B-I-L-L, for 1 month of free protection. That's BILL for 1 month free at HomeTitleLock.com. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.